Greetings, ghouls. Welcome to Deadsville Horror Talk. I'm your host, Ronin James. And way down there to my left is my lovely co-host, Steph Infection.
Hey, Scream Hearts.
Today, we have a very special episode. We are joined by the writer, director, and writer, producer, visual effects artist
That's about it.
of Stalked, the supernatural slasher horror, we'll call it. It was filmed recently here in the tri-state area, shot in New Jersey. And if you recall, I was the stunt coordinator on it. You probably saw some videos and pictures from set and cool stuff like that. So welcome, Wesley Mellott, our writer-director.
Thanks for having me.
And Rob Coccagna.
No.
Coccagna.
Hey, there we
Like
go.
lasagna. There it is. I got it. All right. I knew I was going to get it wrong at least once, so I got it out of the way early.
I'm just impressed somebody got my name right.
I almost got it wrong. We have to ask. You never know.
Yeah,
So welcome, guys. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us here.
We've talked a bit about Stalked here on the on previous episodes because
Quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, we've kind of dropped some breadcrumbs out there for people to follow and hopefully find their way back and back to the social media pages and now your current funding page for the Kickstarter, right?
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo, my fault.
Same thing.
Indiegogo, I gotta try to keep
Interchangeable.
track. Yeah, so let's get that out of the way real quick. You're still getting finishing funds for the Indiegogo. And if anybody wants to help contribute to get Stalked finished, you can go to Indiegogo.com. Do you know the actual address?
/Stalked?
Yeah, we'll put it here.
Works.
In editing, I'm going to put it here. I'll put the address. You'll be able to find it. But you guys have perks like I know you had like.
It's like associate producer
perks.
credits, signed scripts, signed Blu-rays. You can get a scarecrow mask.
Yeah, I saw there were like weapons, prop weapons
that
that were
were used in the
available.
movie.
Very cool stuff.
I think
Bunch
there's
of cool
still a
stuff.
couple of cameo spots.
You can get a
too.
cameo in the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, there you
I have to
go.
go check that out.
Anybody wants to be in Stalked? There's a couple cameos left, or own props and masks, anything else of the sort. That's some cool stuff, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, the link will be here. So make sure, and we'll probably put it in the description as well on the video pages, so you can go to the Indiegogo page and help get Stalked finished. All right. Real quick, moving on, obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about Stalked today, both the story and both how to get an independent horror movie made. Before we do that, though, a bit about us. I'm Deadsville director Ronin James. I've been a stuntman and stunt coordinator for about 20 years. I was the stunt coordinator on this movie with these guys. One of the reasons I'm lucky enough to pull these guys in and do an interview like this is I get to work with guys like this, and we have a lot of fun on set, and we'll have some stories from set, I'm sure, coming soon. But I've been in other things like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Death House and Gotham. I was a stunt double. You've seen me die a bunch of times, or get shot, or blown up, or get my ass
watching
kicked.
you die on screen. It's my
Yeah, Steph
favorite.
Infection loves seeing me get my ass kicked. I've been everything from a cop to a criminal to a blue alien. So, done it all. All the way down there, my partner in crime, Miss Steph Infection. She's a producer, an actress, a hostess with the mostest.
Oh, shit.
Dance choreographer, head fear leader here at Deadsville. Many, many hats, many things.
Whatever hat you hand me, I put it on.
Yeah, so
That's pretty much how it goes.
we've been doing this thing for a little while. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. And thanks to these guys for sitting in for an episode today.
Yeah, thanks again for having us.
Happy to be here.
Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that call to action stuff that we're supposed to tell you to do right now.
Yeah.
If you're listening on Spotify, you follow us. If you're watching us on YouTube.
I'll have to say something from your short. Tell your grandma, too.
I was just going to say.
Grandmas.
Oh, dropping
Something
Easter
along
eggs. All right. Now that's also mailbag. You can also email us.
Oh, yeah. DeadsvilleHorrorTalk@gmail.com. Subject mailbag.
Do we have anything in the mailbag
No,
today?
probably not. I will
Nobody
look,
likes
but
this. Nobody
most
emails
likely,
us.
I'm going to say no.
All right, we're going to get to it here. We're going to read the synopsis that is on IMDB for Stalked, and then we're going to talk to the guys here about a little deeper into the lore.
Ooh, we do have something in our mailbag.
Oh, we have mailbag. We got mail.
And it was the subject was stalked.
Oh,
mailbag stalked.
Outstanding. Somebody actually wrote to us.
Send an email.
Feel so seen.
I'm caught.
Messily
You see who
Wallat.
it is?
It was. Who is it? I can't see. I can't read that far. Who is it? I still can't read it.
It's another producer.
Oh, it's Andreas. Is that who it is?
Yeah,
Andreas? I can't tell. I have
I
my
got
glasses
3
on.
questions
Yeah.
for each
Oh.
one of you.
Awesome.
So that's good.
Awesome. We got some questions for the
Yeah.
Stalked crew. Outstanding. All right. Well, let's read that synopsis, Steph Infection.
All right. A group of YouTubers investigate a legendary ghost town where the entire population vanished overnight. In pursuit of internet fame, they stumble upon a seemingly unoccupied farm that may hold the answers to the town's eerie disappearance. God, we are so...
Yeah, we're cheesy like that. Sorry, guys. We didn't mean to Scooby.
We do that for everything.
Scooby do your
Yeah.
synopsis.
It's always like eerie.
So yeah, is that about sums it up?
Pretty
I mean, I know it
sums
goes
up.
deeper than that, but just for like
That's it.
just for that's it.
Just for the basics.
That's it.
That's all of it. Right there. Yeah, pretty much.
So let's talk about just a couple things right off the surface. The YouTubers thing is like the new hot thing. It's like we've watched a bunch of them now with the YouTubers and the
A bunch.
Well, there's been quite a few. Some really good ones like. Deadstream last year was an awesome one.
Elevator
Did you guys
Game.
see Deadstream?
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love
it
that
was
one.
fun.
I
That was
like
a real good one. I like that a lot.
Elevator Game was pretty good too.
Elevator Game was
I
pretty
remember that
good.
one.
That was a newer one, just came
Just
out on
came out.
Shudder. We reviewed not long ago.
That
But yeah,
Low
I mean,
budget, but it was
it's very relatable because there's so many people now that are involved online and in this realm that we are in, and that this whole online community is in now. All the it's very easily relatable, and it's something that everybody I guess.
yeah.
The current generation, maybe not so much the older generation, can kind of relate and understand, but it comes with like its own built-in stereotypes, archetypes, that kind of thing along with it. So you get your kind of different character types, and you kind of it kind of helps make the setup a little
Helps to make
easier
relatable
and
to any of
digestible
us.
for
Yeah.
for the current audience, so to say.
Yeah.
Well, it helps with. I mean, I think a lot of horror stuff is always better when it's something, kind of saying something about a current, thing and culture, or society or whatever. So, so YouTube just in social media, internet in general seem to be a good place.
Specifically, like influencer culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like TikTok and all that stuff. Felt like there was an opening there to,
Absolutely.
tell some stories.
Yeah, and like many of the audience that is going to watch it are going to be people that are going to be like, oh my god, they're going to see themselves in these characters and see
they'll hate
themselves
us.
come to and see themselves come to a gruesome demise at some point, most likely. Right? So yeah, that's it keeps it relevant and keeps it topical and keeps it fresh for the kids. So what were, I guess, so you guys both wrote this, and you also have Matt Hacker, who is also a producer on there. And we just don't have enough room to fit Matt in here, too. Sorry, Matt. There's only so much room at the table, and we're in a very small space.
Sit on Vernon's lap.
Oh my god, could you imagine if we had like all of the producers?
Oh my
here?
god! all 5 of us or 6 of us.
Like, more than
That's
that.
Yeah, I know, like,
That's what we have on Deadsville Rock and Roll Mysteries. It's like 5, 6 producers.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like a whole
Yeah.
team of us.
Well, we did.
That's how you get it done.
Nobody
But
could
yeah.
get a word in.
Yeah, exactly.
Chaos.
So this started out as a short that you guys did, and were you guys all? I don't have the short up here. So did you all collaborate on the writing of the short?
We
Or-
did. Well, yes and no. So initially it started out as like this thing I would do as part of like my YouTube channel called Short Scares. And every year we would all kind of get together and be like, oh, well, what kind of movie do you feel like doing this year? And that's how we would like come up with like the stories for like these movies. And one year, Brittany said she was interested in doing a short about a scarecrow. No, it was.
Yeah, it was a scarecrow. She said something about a
Did she
scarecrow.
say scarecrow?
Yeah,
I feel like she said cornfield, but she wanted to be
maybe she-
aliens
in the cornfield.
in the cornfield.
Yeah.
And that kind of just like started this conversation between all of us about like, I had a short previously that was written, never produced or filmed or anything, that was about a group of urban exploration YouTubers. And then we kind of just like pitched these ideas, and then Rob was like, well, what if we do a scarecrow? And, and then we all kind of came up with the story together, and then Rob wrote the short, the script for the short.
And this was all over Zoom, actually.
Oh, yeah,
This
this
was
was-
like right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So like everything had shut down, and we were like, I guess we should try and get back into making something. And so it was that whole like time where you didn't know what was going on. And so we were trying to keep ourselves busy. So we would have these meetings over Zoom, and we would story pitch to each other and stuff. And then I went off and I would write a little bit and sent them a script, and they were like, this is all terrible. No, and then that's how we kind of got the short going. And then once we had that script, we were like, all right, well, let's do this. So
All right, so then you go from short to full feature, and a lot more writing.
It was funny because like I remember whenever it was basically we had finished editing on the short, and Rob was doing the VFX work, Mike was doing the sound, Adrian was doing the music, and I was like watching everything, and I was like, hey Rob, like I really think this is like the bones to a much bigger thing. And he responded like, yeah, I think you're right. And so like over the course of like the next year, we would just kind of like shoot ideas back and forth, and yeah.
yeah, sort of the same process all over again, but just,
You already had your foundation.
bigger scale,
You're just gonna
yeah.
expand on it now. And,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So you added more YouTubers to the mix. You added more
Yep.
personalities or whatever in the mix there.
Bigger
one-
cast.
one or two.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have more. You got to have more fodder.
More fun. Yeah. yeah. We just talked about the lack of fodder in a recent movie we reviewed. I was like, oh my god. But,
I mean,
yeah,
it's a tricky balance when you're on a, like it's a a smaller, I'll say smaller. I mean, it was still pretty big for us, but like a smaller film, because you want to have as many people as you can, but you obviously can't afford to have like 100 people, but yeah, the sequel, we'll kill it.
There you
Go hundreds of the sequel.
Thought galore.
Yeah.
All right, so business-wise, how did you guys get from... So you did the short, you guys self-funded the short, I'm guessing, right? So you went out, shot the short, and did you go and pitch that around as like a proof of concept to get more funding? What was the... Once you realized that you wanted to go and you wanted to take it to a feature level, you got the script written for the feature... What was your next step then? What did you guys do?
Well, first it was about packaging the script with talent, because like it's going to be really hard to find funding. My phone's falling out of my pocket. It's going to be really hard to find funding, especially at like kind of like this scale, without having talent attached to your project, because talent is ultimately what's going to or what's going to convince a distributor that this product is going to sell.
Right.
So that was goal number one, is to get talent attached. So we started, sending it out to agents, seeing what cast we could get, and we got Katie Sarife from Annabelle Comes Home attached, Scout Taylor-Compton from...
Was Katie the first one? Was she the first one to jump on, or is it...
No, she came later on in the process. I believe Scout was one of our first actors attached, and Heather Langenkamp is Mercy Crenshaw.
Awesome.
And Andrew Divoff. Been pronouncing his name wrong.
Since I was 8, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, so you got all these guys attached, and they just off of the strength of the script?
Yeah,
And you just gave commitment, and then you shopped it around for...
So we started off like we had funds pulled together to, be able to get these actors. And then from there it was like, well, we also need to, make the movie and stuff. So yeah, from there it became like, okay, we have this package with these actors now. And then we went out to investors and other producers and stuff, and, kind of completed the package.
Nice. Awesome. And then I know Matt was who reached out to me, so then Matt decides he was your budgeter, I guess, and kind of... Yeah. I know, because every time something was, hey, we're going to do something, every time something came up, or I get a call from another department, and I'd be like, I don't know, you better ask Matt.
Yeah. It's a shame that Matt's not here, because, Matt did a lot of that work.
I know. A lot of the... he's right in the crosshairs for every department. He's the one that's got to bear the brunt of it all. He's
I definitely did not want his job.
Not at all. Shout out, Matt. You did a great job, man. All right, so then we go into production, and how was it when you first met some of these actors? We've gone through some of the names. We don't even have to go through the cast list now, because we've mentioned enough of them. But, I mean, all right, Heather Langenkamp, come on.
So, I think, I can't recall exactly which one came first, but it was either Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street were, one of the first 2 horror films I ever watched as a little kid. So basically, it was like a dream come true getting to work with Heather from A Nightmare on Elm Street, because I've been watching that movie almost like every year since I was like 5-6 years old. So it's like it was very surreal.
Yeah, it was surreal. She was awesome though. She was so cool.
Yeah, super nice.
Yeah.
I was only on with her I think it was 2 days, maybe 1 or 2 days. But yeah, she was super nice. Super nice. And
Very
people were
nice.
telling stories on set where she was like set mom and looking out for people, like making sure people were fed, and like she was super nice and like caring. So that's always awesome.
Yeah, because you never know. I mean, sometimes, like anything, you never, especially with like actors who are sort of, and she's definitely legendary status, I think, in horror. That could go either way, when you don't know.
Yeah, we've seen that happen. Yeah.
We've experienced it.
Yeah.
You're like,
I've experienced it plenty.
I'm
Just
sure.
being a stunt double and stuff for some of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some horror stories, but
She was
not the kind of horror stories
nothing.
you like.
I mean, she was amazing. She was just a really nice person to just...
super nice, super dedicated too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, because sometimes, these people, they can come in and just phone it in, They could just... And not one of our cast did that. Every single one of them was, there, and they were bringing their A game and working, and that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, they were great. When the days when we had stunts, everybody was excited. Everybody was pumped. But Scout was awesome to work with. Her fiance is a stuntman too, so she has a lot of stunt training. And I believe she was saying that the next movie that she was doing is an action movie where she's doing a lot of fighting and a lot of stunt stuff too. So yeah, she was psyched, and she was a pleasure to work. She was awesome. She was great to work with. Katie was super psyched to get in that harness and do some stunts with us.
That was her first harness work.
Yeah, that's what she said. And she had a blast. She had fun with it. Yeah, she was great too. She was super sweet. You know, and so we had to double her, and you know, it's always, again, hit or miss with some of these stars. I've been a stunt double, and I've showed up at set, and I've had the person I've doubled for be super nice, and I've had them be a total asshole.
Yeah.
So but she was super nice, taking pictures afterwards with Abra, our stunt double, and with us, with me and Les and everybody, and she was just, you know, she was great.
Yeah. Katie's amazing.
Andrew Divoff, the Wishmaster.
Yeah.
You guys had the Wishmaster. I was like, I remember that was like the first night.
What is your wish?
Oh, that was good.
That's for you, Andy.
That was my first night on set. He was there. That was the first.
Yeah.
It was our first night. He was there. We were working with him. He was great, man. He was because we were all just hanging out at base camp, kind of waiting to do our thing. And
You didn't even know he was in it, right? At the time, didn't you text me and you were excited?
did I not?
I don't know.
I don't remember if I knew he was in it or not.
I thought that was a surprise for you.
I don't remember.
He's so great, though. He's in so many things.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
so great. Like, I remember there's a movie that I loved when I was a kid. It's not a horror movie. It's called Toy Soldiers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot that until somebody brought it up. I think he said something about it on set the one day, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Toy
Yeah.
Soldiers, and he's been the voice in video games, and there's a character in the Call of Duty that's based on him, and he voices and everything. So
He's a lot of voice stuff, and he was telling us about how he has he keeps almost like I think he called it like a Rolodex of like voices and stuff. You know?
Nice.
He does some fun voice work in this one too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, we only did one scene, I guess, that revolved around some stunts and stuff that he was kind of there for. That, but he was super cool, and his voice, man, just talking to him, you're just like. You just hear the gin and you're... It's like, wow, man. I have some wishes I could really go for.
he was definitely one of the coolest people. I mean, he was just everybody loved him. You know,
Super friendly.
Super friendly.
Yeah.
Was just game for pretty much everything, and it was just that just made like you said, there were some stunts and stuff, and it just made things that were complicated in that sense so much easier.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I was really grateful to have him on the film.
Yeah. And then you had our buddy Bill Oberst Jr.
Oh my gosh, Bill is incredible.
Bill is so I didn't work with Bill, but Bill was on Death House as well. So
Okay.
he and I have that connection, even though we did not actually work on the same days or anything. I think he might have even been on the LA shoot. He was on the LA unit, I think. Shot that stuff. I shot his scenes out in LA. So, and I just did the stunts here in Philly, but yeah, it was funny because when it's the first thing, say, hey Bill, we didn't meet, but we both worked together on Death House. First thing he says, oh, I thought that movie was going to be so much better. I was like, me too, Bill, me
I thought it was going to be like, okay. Not even okay.
No offense, any filmmakers out there.
I'm sure he was great.
But,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that guy has a bad take in him.
No.
There are certain parts of that movie that are just great.
Oh, that movie! Oh, the movie.
Story.
There's great. The story is what you're
Everything
just like,
else.
what is going on? Death House, but yeah. But Bill was great, and his, he has a very small role in it. But all right, and then I would be remiss if we didn't talk about my buddy Ricky Barksdale.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Love Ricky.
All right, so what can we say about Ricky without spoiling anything? I'll let you guys.
He's tall.
He's tall. Very tall.
He's very tall.
And mysterious.
And
Yeah.
mysterious, huh? He plays a character named Harvey here in the credits. So, Harvey, what could you tell us about Harvey? Can you tell us anything about Harvey? He's a tall, dark, and mysterious
guy.
character, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we know about Harvey, huh? How was Ricky to work with? Because Ricky,
Amazing.
I recommended Ricky personally.
Yes.
I know,
And great recommendation.
okay, good.
What was nice was for his role, obviously there's a little bit of like stunt stuff needed for some of like the physicality that he was needed to do. So it was really nice having somebody with stunt background and, you know, to be able to bring that to the role. So it really fit having somebody with stunt work, history, experience, be that role.
Yeah, that's what
Is it okay to say like?
Yeah, I think it's okay that he's our scarecrow.
Yeah, it's like he's like tiptoeing around, being really awkward.
He's our Jason Voorhees.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. There it is,
There you
folks.
I mean, if you've seen the short,
If you've seen the short, you know it's a Scarecrow movie.
yeah. If
Right,
you haven't
right.
seen the short, watch it.
Yeah.
Watch
On
this.
YouTube.
Be a bit spoilery, but
But in the great tradition of stunt guys being,
Yeah.
you know,
Behind
the
the
Jason
mask.
Voorhees or
Yeah.
the Michael Myers or whatever, you know, Ricky stepped in and did an awesome job.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just intimidating to look at, you know.
How tall is Ricky?
6'5".
He's tall.
Something like that.
Something
He's,
like that.
he's pretty
Sounds about
tall.
right.
I think it's 6'5".
There were moments on set where like when I first saw him, where I thought he was going to be taller, and then I was standing next to him, and I went, "Oh yeah."
What was hilarious was like we would be filming on set and we would be like, okay, we need Ricky, and we'd be like looking around for Ricky, and then somebody would just like see him like in the corner,
Startled.
like just
He'd just be standing there in the
standing in the darkness, like just scaring people.
I think he started to do it on purpose by the end.
Oh,
He was
yeah,
just
definitely.
like 100% like just in the shadows.
I definitely like there when we were in the cornfield and stuff. There were times where I'd be looking and then just like randomly see him out of the corner of my eye.
I wanted to the one of the last nights we were there. We didn't do it, but I wish we had. I wanted to wrap him because everybody was in holding. Wanted to wrap him, and when everybody saw him leave, then I wanted to put him back in the costume and put him in the corn.
Oh my God.
And just have him come out at somebody. We never got around to doing it.
That would have been great.
Yeah. Yeah, Ricky I've known for years. We've been friends on social media as we first started coming up in stunts, and then we met on Gotham working together, I think, our first time in person. And then, this was the first time I really got to hire him. I think I tried to use him on Death House, but he was booked on something else. And, some stuff is, you know, I'll submit guys, but it's up to production who they choose. So,
Yeah.
when we were on the Scout, and I overheard Matt talking. I forget who it was. He was talking. I don't know if it was you or somebody else that he was talking to, but he was saying, "I got some horn actors we're going to look at. We're still looking at it for our Scarecrow." And I wasn't eavesdropping. I just kind of overheard it.
You were eavesdropping.
All right, a
That's
little
all
bit,
right.
but I was like, I'll wait until he's done, and then I'll just kind of suggest to maybe bring a stuntman in there. It's kind of like tradition. We should do that. And Ricky immediately came to mind because I was like, he's 6'5". I was like, I got this huge guy in New York, not far from here, who could come down. He's super intimidating looking. He's like, and he works on a lot of like big high profile shows in New York, so he's he knows his.
We had talked a little bit about that even before that day, about the idea of like, maybe a stunt guy would be good for that. But yeah, it was. I mean, it all worked out nicely because Scarecrow was one of the later casting decisions. You know, like we weren't sure for a while
Right.
where that was going. So
Yeah.
And then when we saw him, we were like, yeah, okay, that'll work.
But he's in a mask, so you know, and he has no lines. So the casting for him is really, it's you're more worried about your
But there's
name,
still
faces, and stuff.
There's physicality.
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah,
still
exactly.
like a physical performance, and Ricky
Right. No,
nailed it.
absolutely. I just mean when in the casting process,
Right.
Like you had said, you need some bankability and names first and foremost, so that you can get your funding. So your main cast that are going to show their faces and have the bulk of dialogue and carry the acting, heavy drama portions are always going to be your first gets. You know, you're more important. Your priority casting.
It was also important to have somebody, you know, that we knew would be able to do a lot of the, you know, the physical stuff, but also keep those name actors safe.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah,
Yes.
there was like a couple of like death scenes where, well, like for instance, there's a scene where the Scarecrow picks somebody up by the neck, and he would like walk them through how to do it safely and like do it like quarter speed, half speed, and kind of just walk them through everything. So it was really nice.
Yeah. That's what stunts. That's
It's really important.
safety is the name of the game. That's why it sucks when you hear these horror stories from other sets where they cut corners for
Or even in the news right now.
budget, and somebody winds up getting hurt or even dying. Like
Yeah.
we've seen happen. So
Yeah.
it's a shame, but stunts is always one of the first things to go from the budget when they start to. I mean, we get it. Everything's got to get cut at some point, but safety, you always want to make sure. So yeah, casting a stunt guy, even when you don't have stunts on set, you're casting him to be an actor, but he's always going to have that safety first mindset.
Exactly.
So he's always going to be very conscious of him, not only himself but everybody else on set, because that's just the way stunt guys are programmed. So, all right, well, we'll move on from our cast. What do you guys want to tell us about the synopsis and some of this stuff? Maybe that wasn't covered in what Steph read from IMDb. What else should the audience know about anything without giving too much away? Supernatural aspect and
the one thing I'll say is, like, I know a lot of people talk about like the names we have attached to the movie, like Heather, Katie, Scout, Andrew, Bill, but all the cast did an amazing job. Like Buddy, Zach, Shelby.
I really like him
Phillip.
from the short. Like, Buddy, he was really good. I mean, the three people in the entire short I thought were great,
Buddy,
obviously. And
he's great in the short. He's better in this.
Yeah.
He's,
I can only imagine.
yeah.
Yeah, excellent job. And again, awesome people to work with. Everybody was so awesome on set.
Sarah, Regina, Sebastian. Trying to remember if I named everybody or not. Oh no.
That's the worst. We do it all the time too. I'm like, I know I'm forgetting people.
And it's
I
always
feel
like
so
the most
bad.
important.
There's even like Wesley and Scarlett, who are two child actors and everything. And there isn't a weak link
Nice.
in the
All
cast.
amazing actors.
Yeah. Which you can't say for every movie,
No, that's
No.
for sure.
No,
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I've
definitely
been
not.
watching back footage and stuff like that. And we're just like, man, this is pretty good.
Yeah. It made me really, really, really happy to see Buddy and Shelby, people that we've collaborated with for like 4 or 5 years now, like seeing them on the screen with these
With the other
like horror icons, it was really special.
And holding their own,
yes.
definitely
Yeah.
holding their own, so yeah, it was really
Proud
cool to
moment.
watch. Yeah.
I can see it on your faces. You're like, we're proud.
Yeah.
Like, proud parents.
Awesome. So you're in post-production now.
Yep.
And talk a little bit about that. What are the steps right now that you're going through? Where are you in post-production?
Editing.
Yeah.
Lots and
Still
lots
editing.
of editing. Yep. And then probably sending clips to Rob to be like, hey, is this VFXable?
By tomorrow. Then I go out and I dig a hole in my yard and I lay down in it and I start pulling the dirt out.
Yeah. It'll all be worth it. You just
Yeah.
gotta keep saying it'll all be worth it.
How do you?
That's what we're all good at that. We're all good at, like, at different points calming each other
I was gonna
down.
say, how do you
and,
I don't want to say prioritize, but like, how do you? Because you have so much on your plate. I know I'm the same way. Because I
Navigate
just
it
so
all.
much. Yeah. How do you go through your list? How do you get stuff done? Like, what do you? Just helping each other out, like.
Like, do you set a certain time limit that you're gonna be working, or are you just like,
My
Whenever you
brain
can.
works in weird ways.
Yeah.
Like my ADHD brain. It's like I had an assistant editor that put together like everything for me. So like the whole movie's like synced, and he actually had a full like rough cut of the movie.
Oh, nice.
Well, at least all the scenes. I think like 15 of the days out of like the 21 that we shot. So most of it, he put together most of the footage.
Nice.
So like my brain, I was told like specifically to do certain scenes, and then I see like I'm just like in the wrong scene. I'm like, crap, I got to go back to the one that I'm supposed to be working on. And I'm just like have to keep like yelling at myself to go back to the one I'm supposed to be working on. But it's like one of those things where I'm just so excited to kind of look back and see like what we captured those days. You know, it's one thing to be on set and, you know, directing it, but then to see the footage actually start to make a movie and then to start like trying little things, it's always exciting to play around with.
And then every time little pieces get added to it, you know, like VFX or like sound design or color work or whatever, the music, because the guy Adrian who does the music and stuff is awesome.
My gosh.
He's so good.
He sent that cue yesterday that I was
And
like...
I listened to it and I was
seriously
like, well,
gave me
I'm going to listen to that
cold
for the rest of the day.
Chills.
But when you start seeing them all like layered together into each scene, it's like, it's so cool. It's like each time you watch it, it's like getting to watch it again for the first time. And then eventually at some point you go, oh wow, we have a movie. You know, like it's actually a movie. It's not just a collection of stuff.
Yeah. That's why I feel like I got a collection of stuff right now. I gotta get that sitcom done.
That's for sure.
Well, I mean, like that's the thing. It's never easy, and it never goes quickly. Generally, it's, you know, and like, you know, Wes saying about the ADHD brain, like that's me too, in different ways. My thing sometimes is I get stuck. I get stuck starting. Like I can't always sit down and just start. So luckily I have like, you know, like Wes and like Britt and Andreas and other people on the team that, you know, are good at being like, hey, are you doing this? Are you, I need you to work on this now. And I'm like, okay. You know,
Don't forget.
but I think we're all good that way about like figuring out like where each other's like spots are that we're not as strong or whatever, and like filling in those gaps and kind of, you know, making it all work out. So, but yeah, I'm super excited to see, like, every now and then we'll get a scene from Wes.
Yeah, sent over 2 scenes to them to check out, and just getting a little feedback and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Which the one is Heather's first appearance in the movie, so it's really exciting to hear the feedback for that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So I got to ask: have you edited any stunt scenes yet? Have we seen any stunts?
Yes.
How's it look?
Yeah. Looks amazing.
Yeah. I know we don't have to go into detail on what it was, but
the big one we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Good. Yeah, that was taxing. I'm glad we got it in. God, that was a hell of a night.
Yeah, yes it was.
It's a couple of hell of a nights.
Yeah. Quite a few of them.
Quite a few.
Overnights, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the worst part, though. I think. Well, one of the worst parts. If I had to pick a worst part of shooting a horror movie, it's the night shoots.
Yeah.
You know, like if you can shoot on a studio, you can do day for night. But
I'll give you this though. At least you shot it when it was warm out. Or still.
It started to get a little cool
by
towards
the end. We were starting to get. There was a couple nights at the end there where we were all like out there freezing in the corn.
Yeah, I had to put my winter coat on by the end.
One of my first stunt coordinating gigs, like big stunt coordinating gigs, was for a Sci-Fi Channel movie years ago. I get called to court, and it's like we're there for 3 weeks. It's just outside of Hartford, Connecticut. It's the dead of winter. And they're all overnight shoots outdoors.
That's brutal.
And it was.
And you don't own a parka.
I don't own a parka. I don't even like the cold. But I remember we had one scene where, and they wrote, the movie was supposed to take place during the summer. So they had
because that makes total sense.
So the scene written where...
Isn't that funny how that works?
There's like frost on the ground.
So
you can see the actor's breath.
Yes.
Well, we obviously it was in the winter. Everything was in the winter, but like the whole movie was supposed to take place when it was still nice out, and they were supposed to shoot it 6 months earlier, and it kept getting pushed and kept getting pushed. But we had hired about 15 of my stunt guys to play these guards. The whole thing was this Jersey Devil getting transported, this creature getting transported in a semi-truck from like one place to another. So they stop overnight and the thing's trying to break out. So all the guards got to come out with their guns and everything. And they made all my stunt guys, they were all sleeping. They all had to come out in the middle of a blizzard in like boxer shorts, no shirts, just their sneakers on or their boots or whatever, running out in the freezing cold. And we're shooting
Connecticut.
in the middle of Connecticut in a blizzard. And my guys are all looking at me like, we're going to kill you. I'm like, sorry, I'm just to bring a jacket. Just. So, I'd be glad it wasn't, at least it wasn't out in the middle of a fucking blizzard.
Yeah.
Although we did have to deal with all the bugs.
The bugs and hay.
And the hay.
Oh, yeah.
We filmed in a barn that was loaded, loaded with hay.
And you've never seen so much hay.
I didn't realize that there was a thing called farmer's lung until one of our crew members got it.
Oh, shit. Farmer's lung from inhaling hay?
Basically, your
dust?
lungs become inflamed from inhaling the hay dust.
Yeah, the dust and everything.
Yeah.
So basically, from there on out, like I
would
could
have
feel
got
it.
that if I was there.
No, yeah,
I could
I would've
feel
absolutely-
it within like 15 minutes of being in that barn,
could feel it
where
now.
I like requested a mask and told them that they should have them on set for people.
Yeah.
Because I would be like hacking up my lungs within 15 minutes of being there.
We did it on the scouts, on the location scouts. We would go, and like the next day, I was like, I can't breathe, and I'm like,
I've never even heard of that. I mean, it makes sense.
One of
but-
our crew members was an absolute rebel, and he just wouldn't wear one. And then the irony of him getting farmer's lung.
And he's the one that got the farmer's lung. Yeah, so it's always the way. It's always the rebel.
So he's okay though. I'm
yeah,
assuming?
he's
he's
fine
great.
now.
He tried hard to do damage to himself on the film.
Oh yeah, he
Pretty
was
much
like
every
hurting
day
himself every
was
day.
trying to do something, but it was worth it for the high fives.
Lots of high fives.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah.
All right. What else we got in here? What?
You want me to ask some questions?
Yeah, ask some questions. Let's get
All
to
right.
let's get to our mailbag.
Yeah. All right. Well, pertaining to what we're already talking about, I'll ask Wes his first question. Actually, his only question. You each get one. What was it like directing your first original feature? Sorry, in the meantime, while you're thinking, this is from another producer from Stalked, Andreas Quiroga.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yep. I'm just gonna say yes.
I don't.
Just like, yes, that's how it's pronounced.
Yes, okay.
And then just like nervously, he's like, "You pronounced it wrong."
You can blame me.
I pronounce
That's
it
how I've been
Jones.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. It was a little. Thinking about it was intimidating in like the lead up, but not when you're on set, because like whenever you get on set, like all you're thinking about is the scenes, you know, working with your actors, your crew, and the DP, obviously, to put together the movie. So you're just really in the zone, and it becomes just collaborating and discussing ideas with other people. So in the lead up, the months beforehand, it was intimidating, but not whenever you actually get on to set.
Yeah, I could feel that when you get to set, there's so much work to do. You don't have time to think about anything else.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
the minute you get there, everybody's like, I need this, and you're just like, okay, time to go to work. And there's no time for anything else than doing the job.
Yep.
So as long as you know your job, as long as you know how to do your job, you should be good.
And there's also, like, you know, it's not even the stuff that you do on set that day. There's all of, like, the prep work that you're doing, like, whenever you get home for the next day, or, like, in the weeks leading up to production.
Right.
So it's just, like, a ton of work, as you know.
Yep.
Do you think it was easier or harder than you thought it was going to be?
That's a good question. I It kind of went just kind of as
Exactly.
expected. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was easier or harder. It's kind of just like how I thought it would go. I mean, there were things that popped up, like with the one stunt that we did where, Murphy's Law would just kick us in the nuts
Over and over
over
again.
and over again.
I know exactly
And,
what you're talking about.
Dealing with like those challenges is obviously extremely difficult because like it gets to a point where mentally you're like, okay, like how much more of like dumb shit like this is going to happen to cause like setbacks? Because like when setbacks like that happen on a short, it's not that big of a deal. But when it happens on a feature film where you're paying, I think we had like 50 plus people there every day, then, your producers are starting to come to you and be like, we can't really stretch this because of
we got no more
financial
money.
reasons.
Yeah.
So that part of like the process does it gets a little, I wouldn't say overwhelming, but you always kind of have that hanging over your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, their filmmaking is obviously a creative endeavor, but it's also a business. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
The producers are probably mad at me quite a few times.
Sure.
But,
No.
like, with that thing specifically, that wasn't on anybody.
Right.
That was,
And
a
you
thing
got-
that happened because of, like I said, Murphy's Law.
Right.
You guys figured it out,
Right,
though. Yeah.
Bill.
Bill.
Bill saved us. Bill the hero.
Man, Bill was like he was the hero of set.
Oh my
He
gosh.
was the
Bill was
property
amazing.
manager at the camp where we were shooting at the one camp, right? Property manager. Is
Yeah,
that his
I
title?
believe
Was
so,
he
yeah.
the owner or was he just the manager?
I know I think he lives there, right?
He lives there.
I think he lives there and he like
I think
owns
he
or like runs the property,
runs the
and
property,
everything.
yeah. Like takes care of it in the off season.
He was the engine whisperer.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how many times Bill saved our ass.
Yeah, we should have
shout out
kept a tally.
to Bill. Right?
We were gonna run out of fingers because
He gave an extra special thanks in the credits.
Yeah. Big bold letters.
and his picture.
Dedicated.
Yeah. Bill.
None of this would have been possible without Bill.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's always stuff like that that happens though that you can't. I mean, like you can't really plan for it. You can't. You just have to roll with it when it happens, and that can be the tricky part, being able to just adapt on the fly and move. But
Yeah, problem solving is a lot of what you wind up doing on sets.
Yep.
It's like, okay, because everything's a problem. How are we going to get this shot? He's got to figure out it's all problem
well, the
solving.
one night we were shooting we were supposed to shoot on the farm, and we were supposed to shoot a whole bunch of exteriors, and
Oh god.
like a couple hours before call time, we looked at the radar and it was like, it's gonna rain, and it's gonna rain hard and all night, and we literally 2
was,
hours before we had to shift everything,
The hurricane weekend.
Yeah.
where
I
the hurricane
remember
came.
because I know. Yeah.
and so we had to shift everything to get like
Oh my god. It
as many
threw-
exteriors as we could early, and then throw everything else inside. It was just
That one little hiccup from that day threw our entire schedule out of whack. Everything had to get like
butterfly
rescheduled.
effect.
Scheduled.
Yeah.
Every single day
Yeah.
had to get rescheduled.
yeah.
It was an absolute nightmare. And like Brittany, Andreas, Rob, and Matt, they basically had to sit down and figure out how to like reschedule all of this with like the actor availability and everything. It just like
Oh, that's
And I'm not even gonna jump in
I'm-
on that. Like that was
And
like
that-
Britt and Matt
Yeah.
totally like really.
I'm just
and
like, just
Andreas.
tell me what scenes we're doing, and I'm prepared. So
it all got done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was when we had some of the rescheduled stunt stuff. And It was just like, I know Matt was juggling for a while. And
oh
it was
yeah,
like-
that was a headache too. That was actor availability and
Yeah.
stuff.
And it came down to like last
schedules.
minute. Hey, like we did. And I'm like, yep, let's do it.
I remember asking you, like, we had different events that we were doing, and I was like, are you shooting this day? Or am I running this or so? Like, or are you going to be here? And you're like, I don't know. I'm like, there's a hurricane coming this weekend. You're like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If I'm there, I'm there. If I'm not, I'm not. I'm like, all right. Okay.
What we got inside
Yeah.
by the time that rain hit,
Yeah.
and I mean, the sound maybe.
Oh yeah. I don't
But
even
this
wanna think
one,
about
the one scene, like we're watching playback, and you could just hear because we're there's a metal roof,
Oh, God.
you know, and it's just dumping.
Yeah.
And but we were inside.
There's this. I feel so bad. It's gonna have to be a scene that's 80 yard later. But like Katie delivers this great. I mean, it's just like one line, but she delivered the line brilliantly, and you can't even hear it because it just sounds like a waterfall.
Yeah.
It's
I'm sure.
infuriating, I'm sure.
Soundman
My
is having a
God.
ball.
Yeah.
And we're all just like sitting there looking at each other. It's like this is gonna happen all night.
Yep.
Like there's no waiting for it to stop
Did it? I forget. Was it like
Oh, it was
lined up
like-
for a while?
I went all night.
until
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 a.m. It was going
Which
on.
is about when we were rapping anyway. So yeah. But I will say it could have been way worse because that was really the only night that we had that kind of like
Yeah.
weather, and I was worried that we were going to have a lot more of that because we did a lot of stuff outside.
There were a couple nights where I remember at Field of Terror, there was 0 rain on the radar, and it would just like keep raining for like 20-minute periods where we would all just like go inside of one of the haunted like little buildings.
Yeah, we
and
were
just
just
wait
there
for it to
last
stop,
weekend.
and then like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
We went last Saturday.
Yeah. But yeah, like little pop-up showers like that, and then but even those 20
Frustrating.
minutes would really like mess your night
Throw
up.
your throws your schedule all off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, and then you're problem solving the rest of the rest of the time.
It's like, oh, we just lost 2 hours to rain. How do we make that up?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because we still have to get the same stuff.
I remember
That's it.
the curveball with Scout's stunt was thrown at me the night before, and I had to draw that goofy little diagram up and, and bring it in and be like, okay, here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because we had talked about it, but we had talked about it before, and we were
Your
talking
stick
about
figures.
we were talking about
It was a good
shooting it
Yeah.
in
I
a
told him what's going on in the fridge.
Yeah.
sound stage
Yeah.
or in one of the barns or something like that. And we wound up not having that space, and it was like, okay, we got to make it work. So we made it work.
In a very tight house.
It was very tight. I remember when we scouted it, we were walking through it, it was so old. It was just like, oh my God, there's like...
I felt bad for the crew all the time because we were constantly like telling them something, and then like 5 minutes later we have to come back and be like, yeah, it's completely different than what we just said. You know? Like,
It
so
always happens.
everything that we just told you, pretend we said the opposite.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. And then 5 minutes from now, we'll probably make another change. You know? And I felt bad, but like, I mean, that's sort of just how it goes. I mean, I think even on big shows, it's like that all the time. I mean, you know, it's just.
Yeah, except big shows usually have money to
Right,
to
you
burn.
can throw the money
Like,
at it.
so you're
Throw
like,
money
yeah,
at
whatever.
it. Oh, we need an extra day? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, right,
You know, like,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, they're still waiting for the star to come out of his trailer to decide that lunch is over. So, you know, don't even get me started on the money wasted on
Yeah, I
big
know.
sets. I go on to big sets and work, and I'm just like, man, I'm looking at crafty. I'm like, I could make a small feature for the money you people are spending on crafty and throw it out.
You get really excited for crafting.
All right, look,
when you
man.
go places.
I mean, really, to be fair, it's kind of the best part of the.
It's like the
deal.
only pictures
Right.
I get. I'm like, okay.
The catering on set was amazing.
I will
Oh, I
say-
got a picture of your crafty too.
Yeah.
I will say
Come
that
on.
one got hit out of the park. I'm not even sure. I think it might have been Matt who first.
Who
It
got
was
it?
either Matt or Britt who first
No idea.
found them, but like
Yeah.
knocked that one out of the park.
Tribal?
Tribe Road.
Tribe Road.
Yeah, Tribe Road Catering. Yeah.
Yeah, they
So we
kept
need a caterer.
they kept crafty stocked. I remember our stunt driver Anthony sends me a picture. He was down at the location on set, and he's like, "I think I found crafty," and it's a picture of just like a fold-out
Snacks.
table with like 10 granola bars on it, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm sitting next to crafty up at base camp, and I was like, "No, we found crafty." The big little spread. He's like, "Oh man, where?" I was like, "Hey, we're up here. Come on up here."
That's just the stuff we sent down to you guys who were working.
That's great. All right, well, speaking of stunts, your question is up next.
All right.
Ronin, a.k.a. Jae Greene. From Andreas, what's the most dangerous stunt you've performed and coordinated? Let me think of the most dangerous.
Well, we might have done one of the most dangerous ones on this.
Actually, I was
which
going to
I
say
can't
without-
really
you
talk
can't
about.
say, but that was probably.
But the person who performed that one also performed the other most dangerous stunt that I coordinated, which was a
Oh yeah.
two-person full zombie fire burn. I guess 2 years ago in South Carolina. We went down to work I took a little fire team down. Anthony Hong is my fire specialist as well, and so he makes his own gel and all that kind of stuff. And we took a little fire team down to South Carolina for So Crispy Media, YouTube channel.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah, they do a lot of stunt-related kind of and behind-the-scenes video stuff. And they did this. They got hired by Ubisoft to do a short film for Dying Light 2, the parkour game.
Yeah.
That features burning zombies. So they wanted practical burning zombies, and they reached out to me to see if I could make it happen. I was like, yes, if you have the budget, I can make that happen. So Have Fire Will Travel. We packed up and drove a little team down to South Carolina, met one of my other guys down there, and we lit Corey Fackler, one of my stunt guys. Corey Fackler was one of our fire burn zombies, and then Anthony himself also jumped in on a second one. So we got a couple different takes where we did a couple of full burns, and they were my coordinating most dangerous, I guess, along with the one that we did here for Stalked. I would say.
Anthony is amazing, by the way.
yeah, Anthony. Shout out to my boy Anthony Hong. Great stuntman,
So
great
nice.
guy, awesome guy.
He's a beast.
Yeah, and he is also a clown. He went to like clown college. Yeah, he does all the clown stuff and juggling and all that stuff. Yeah. He's,
I like him even more.
yeah.
Wish we had known that before we shot the movie.
Work
that in.
A little clown horror.
Next one.
And as far as performed, I guess my Gotham stunts are probably the most dangerous ones I performed.
That window film.
The window, I jumped out a third-story window into an airbag on Gotham, kind of like a blind fall, because I had to take like a running start and jump through a breakaway window and then spot my landing
So,
after I was already out the window. So
is
it's
that
nice to
ever
look at.
scary for you?
The only thing that was scary was I just wanted to make sure I got it right, because something like this, you really only want one take. You got to get it one take, because for them to go reset the whole window and redo this whole thing again on a big production like Gotham, you're trying to make your stunt coordinator look good, so you don't want to have to reset and do all this. A lot of, like you just said, it's so much money. If you have to take 20 minutes behind and you're already wasting and running. So for them to have to rebuild a whole breakaway window for me if I didn't get it right on the first take, that's what I was scared of more than anything. I've worked for this coordinator. He's a bit of a hard ass. He's known for being a bit of a hard ass. He put me through the ringer on another stunt that I did on Gotham, and made sure that I hadn't worked for him a whole lot, but I fit this double. So, he brought me in and he was questioning whether I could do this fall or not, and had me go out to send me a video of you doing one, go to a gym or something, find a gym. And it's 3 stories. So I'm like, there's no gym. I found one gym that I could go to. It was like 12 feet. I'm like, this is like 12 feet. He's like, looks like 10. I guess it's okay. All right, you got the job. So like that was what was scarier. I don't want to mess up, but I mean, for most people, jumping out a 3rd-story window.
No way.
Would be the scary thing, but I was into a big ass airbag. I'd done stuff like this before in training, in a film. I jumped off scaffolding and cranes and stuff into airbags to train, and maybe not that high, but pretty high. And man, even when it happened, I wasn't scared. I was just like, that was so quick. Can I do it again? That was fun. So that was probably, there was that one, and I guess the other one would be I went through glass doors on the originals It's like a spin-off of the Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
So Dave Morzo.
Yeah.
So Rob and I go way back. We didn't even mention this.
Yeah.
We should mention this now. Rob and
Yeah.
I go way back to being special ability guys on The Last Airbender together.
Yeah.
And that was like one of our...
What is that? 2010 or something?
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender, shot here in Philly. We were both Water Tribe,
Yep.
Water Nation. Water Nation. I was also Fire Nation for a little while. I played both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
They moved me around. I was a double agent. But that's where we had first met.
Yeah.
So Dave Morzo was the fight choreographer on that, so we worked with Dave. So when I wound up moving to Atlanta, 15 years later, Dave's down there and hires me to work on the originals. He's coordinating the originals. So, and I wind up getting work for him. And he was originally supposed to be a simple gag with us just getting killed by some vampires. And then a couple days ahead of time, he's like, have you done any glass work? And I'm like, oh, man. Yeah, I've done some glass work. Sure, yeah. And I had done two different things. One was I had in a Bollywood movie here in Philly, I had a windshield blown out on me as a cop, and I went flying and fell from a cop car glass. And another one, I got thrown onto a table that had like the old penny trick. This was like the old Hong Kong, backfall onto the table with the pennies under the glass, so that, but not totally like kill yourself on it with real glass. So I had done those kind of things before. So Dave calls me in. He's like, okay, send me the picture, send me the video. They want to send him the video. Same thing. I want to see it. I want to see it. Dave wasn't quite as a hard ass like Norm was from Gotham. Dave was Dave's a really nice guy. All right, send me the video. Yeah. Calls me in. He's like, all right, I want you to go through these glasses. They just changed it. They want one of the guys to go through the glass. I'm going to have you go through the glass. How do you feel about that? We're on set. He's showing me the set, and we're in the studio, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good. And I'm shitting my pants. And I'm just like, man, this is a big one, and it's tempered glass. This is thick tempered glass. He's explaining the whole gag to me. So he's telling me, he's like, okay, I've done a glass gag before, and I'm going to warn you, it's not, are you going to get cut? It's how bad are you going to get cut? And he's telling me, yeah, I had a gash in my head. I did this on, I forget what the show was, Chuck.
Breakaway?
This was not breakaway glass. This was real glass. This was real glass doors, real tempered glass doors. And they had explosives with nails set on the outsides of the door that a pyrotechnic guy would be out of frame on the other side of the door where I would start, and they were shooting inside on the other side of the door. So I was going to come through the doors this way. And I would have to run and throw myself back first at the doors, and the pyrotechnic guy would just have to time it and boop and blast that shit at
That's
the
a lot of
exact
trust.
second. It is a lot of trust. And these things have gone wrong, and the pyrotechnics have not fired before, and stunt guys have hit the fucking glass and bounced off of it and fucked themselves up. And yes, plenty of things can go wrong. So Dave also was like, you're gonna have. You're going to get cut, no matter just how bad. And he told me he had to get stitches and staples in his head doing a gag on Chuck. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, all right, so we're ready. But we were playing like tactical soldiers, so I was covered head to toe in tactical gear, helmet, everything. I had everything. So I wasn't really worried. I wasn't too worried. They were like, okay, we're going to put moleskin on the back of your neck and on your wrists and anywhere that was possible for skin to pop out. Covered in moleskin, you're good. Okay.
Cutting arteries, basically.
So then Dave tells me, he's like, okay, now listen, because there's a funny story attached to this too that I just remember. I have to go and finish this now. So this was very dangerous. I'm going to go through this glass. Pyrotechnics, yada, yada. We're firing blanks, shooting guns everywhere on set. Shit could go wrong. Everything's going well. We get to the stunt. Jay, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Everything's good. Dave's like, okay, there's an ambulance outside, engine going. If you're cut, we're going to get you to the set. You just stay down. Once they yell cut, we're going to come up. You're going to have glass fragments all over your eyes and everywhere. Don't open your eyes or mouth. We're going to check you for cuts. I'm going to spray you with canned air to get all the fragments off you, and then you'll be able to open your eyes and mouth. Don't do anything until I do that. We'll let you. Okay, cool.
Frightening.
All right, you good? I'm good. So I go to my end, he goes to his end, he's on the other side with the director and DP and everybody, camera and everything, he's on this side. I'm over here, I'm ready to go, pyro guy's here. All of a sudden, makeup girl comes out of nowhere.
Oh God! Oh God! Makeup girl.
And she's like, "Oh, you're going through glass. We're gonna put some blood on you over here. We're gonna put some blood on you." And so they start putting blood on me. Dave doesn't know that they're putting blood.
No.
Nobody on the other side knows that they're putting blood on me right now. So, you guys ready? Oh yeah, we're almost set. Okay, we're set. All right, Jay, you ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready to go. Okay, and 3, 2, 1, action! I run, I jump, I throw myself. I hear the pop. The glass goes perfect. I fly through the glass. I hit the ground, knock the wind out of me. Pooh, lay there, play dead. Boom, everything seems to have gone great. And my face feels a little warm, but I'm just like, all right, it's probably just heat from fucking whatever. I'm laying there, they finally yell cut, and Dave's like, Jay, you all right? I'm give the thumbs up, and they come rushing in. And Dave gets to me first, and he's like, all right, I'm going to spray you. Don't open your eyes and mouth. And, all right, there's some blood. All right, there's some blood. Don't freak out. Just stay. I'm going to spray this off. And he starts talking to the medic. All right, can you see where the blood's coming from? See where the blood's coming from. All right, we're looking for where the blood's coming from. And I can't tell him that it's fake blood because I can't. He hasn't sprayed my mouth off yet. So him and the medic are freaking out.
Oh my God.
And I'm laying here just waiting. And he's spraying my eyes. And he's spraying my mouth. And I can see him. And he is panicking. And finally sprays my mouth. And I'm like, it's makeup. And he's like, what? And I'm like, it's makeup, Dave. It's makeup. He's like, oh my God, I thought you were bleeding. It's a lot of blood. And we had a big laugh. But yes, that was the most...
I can picture it.
Yeah, cracking up afterwards. But yes, he's like, oh my God, it was a lot of blood. I thought we were putting you in the ambulance for a minute. I was like, that was a fun gag. But yes, dangerous, I suppose. That was probably the second most.
Sounds really dangerous.
That's what stunts is. But we do it as safely as possible. So we try and take out all of the, narrow down the factors of injury.
That's the thing. You mitigate as much risk as possible, and at the end of the day, you're still taking a risk, but you've calculated all of the...
Right.
Yep.
And you're wearing pads, and you're taking precautions, and you're trained in how to fall, and trained in how to, hit the ground, or whatever the case may be.
And if something does, God forbid, go wrong, you've prepared ahead of time for that eventuality, too.
Yep.
So...
Always be prepared.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next question.
All right. This one goes to Rob.
Oh.
What's the next project currently cooking on your writer's table?
Well, I guess there's a couple of them. There could possibly be sequels on the, brain for certain movies that have just been shot.
There has to be.
Yeah, possibly prequels. Who knows? All kinds of different things related to that. I've also got another one that is seemingly unrelated. At the moment, it's unrelated anyway. That talk about winter and shooting in the winter in the snow. It's kind of like a snowbound Thing type. Because I love The Thing.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to do something like that, like a creature film where people are trapped in the snow.
Yeah.
And everything.
I just wanted to do a movie in snow.
Well, I got something for you. I actually came up with it. This is an idea I came up with actually on set for Stalked, talking to Bill Oberst.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. And at least at the time, he said he seemed to think it was. He's like, oh, that's a really cool idea and everything. Nice. So I think maybe we can get Bill. And then I've sort of been fleshing it out a little bit slowly over the last couple weeks in my head and doing a little bit of research. So I haven't really told everybody about it yet. Clearly, I haven't even told Wes.
First I'm hearing about it.
We're breaking news here.
I know.
But,
Good question, Andreas. There you go.
Yeah. So that's definitely in the brain pan. So there's a couple of things. Hopefully that'll, come together once we get through post-production on this.
Yeah.
Sometimes
marathon.
Sometimes it's simultaneous because, sometimes, at least for me, I could be sitting there all day doing like VFX stuff and then working on the computer and doing that stuff, but like writing sort of like feels like it uses a different part of my brain. You know what I mean? So I don't mind taking a break every now and then and going, oh, I'm going to go over here and write a couple pages or whatever, which is good because, you know, that's the thing I would like is to be able to we get done this and be able to have something else just kind of ready to go.
Ready to go, yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So, yeah.
How are you with horror comedy?
I love horror comedy.
Yeah?
I mean...
There's a good bit of comedy
There's a good
in Stalked,
Yeah.
surprisingly,
Yeah. And I was I was always fighting for more comedy.
Sometimes I had to be the one
Sometimes you
telling
had to be
Rob,
like,
like,
This is a horror movie, Rob.
And I'm like, come on, it's funny.
pull it back just a little bit there, Rob. Yeah, there were a couple scenes where like there was like a punchline at the end, and I was like, love the punchline, Rob, but we gotta remember.
Maybe we gotta, it might not be the right tone at this moment.
Yeah.
People are dying, Rob. We're not making jokes.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think I lean myself towards horror comedy more. I mean, I love movies that are like that, like Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah.
You know, the campier parts of Evil Dead and you know, Army of Darkness is like one of my favorite movies and everything. So like I tend to like throwing humor into pretty much everything because I feel like almost nothing in life is without humor.
Yeah.
Even the most serious things.
Some people are without humor.
Some people are without humor, but I find that even in the most serious situations, there's usually
humor.
there's usually a way to find a joke or a punchline in there.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe it annoys everybody around me. I don't know. Yeah. So.
Well, we'll have to talk about some.
Yeah, we got
Deadsville episode.
We're always
or
doing horror
something.
comedies on our mind. We're like, we got ideas.
I got a whole first season we got to have written so to talk.
Horror comedy.
I know. There you go.
All right. Well, anything else we want to
I don't know.
discuss?
Yeah, we're. Well, we said if you want to watch the short, the Stalked short is on YouTube, right? I don't have it pulled up
it's on
anymore.
the Thinking Art Entertainment YouTube channel.
Thinking Art Entertainment. We'll put that in the description, and I'll pop up here where
Just
my
passed
finger is. Blink.
300,000 views
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
for Halloween.
That's awesome. And our friend Lauren Rivera is in the short.
Yes.
Plays Steph.
Lauren Rivera of Terrifier 2 fame. Plays Steph.
I know.
Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
message her. I had no idea, but I will say I really enjoyed the short. I thought the quality of it was like great, and even there's one kill scene, and I was like, oh yes.
Yeah, was
pretty
a
cool.
short shot on the Reds too? Yes.
No, we shot the short on Black Magic's.
Oh wow. Okay.
Shot on
Drone
the
shots and
Black Magic Pocket 6K, and then there's some shots on the Ursa Mini.
Yeah. A couple of them, but mostly the pockets.
And drone shots.
Drone shots
drone
were
shots?
the Inspire 2.
Nice. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, the drone shots are incredible.
Yeah.
Well, Adam is, you know.
Adam's
okay.
Yeah, he's okay at his job.
Adam was the DP on the short
He
as well.
was,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah. So same exact team pretty much as far as the
A
crew goes.
lot of the same people were involved. Yeah, Mike was did the sound. Matt, Brittany were producers on the short as well. Rob, VFX.
Yeah.
Brian, Hugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you find that good
Gianna.
team.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of
people, but like the pretty much the core like group was the same between the short and the feature, and then we expanded and added a whole bunch of new people that I hope are now going to be the core of the next group because they were all really great.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to stunts if you're having me back. So.
Oh yeah, I feel like there's gonna be stunts and everything.
I try to push you for stuff all the time, and people are like, "Hey, we got to do stunts." I'm like, "I know a guy."
I appreciate.
What's
that.
gonna be fun is like if we do get to do like another Stalked installment, talking to Rob, it's like, how can we one up the stunts in the next movie? What can we do bigger and better this time around?
There we go.
Did you hear he had me practicing those stunts? I've never done anything in my life.
She was
curious,
she was in the harness.
Was it
Was that? Oh, that
Yeah.
video.
Okay.
Oh, we love that. That video.
Yeah, that video.
That video
That's
went
me.
around. That video went around set pretty fast.
Well, she was she was the one holding the pole in one, like
Yeah.
doing the scarecrow, and Maddie was in the harness, but then she was also in the harness in another
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Just
First
going
one.
up. The first one just
Yeah.
going up
Yeah.
without a scarecrow
It was
mine.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I broke my
yeah,
toe that day doing stunts.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Not that
my-
stunt though.
Not that
I was
stunt.
gonna say that's not on us.
We just decided to play.
No, I was
fight scenes.
launching. We were launching the stunt. Well, these prospective stunt people. We were giving them a little ride on the wires.
Mm-hmm.
My battle wounds. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for us. We appreciate you guys coming and
Yeah. Thanks for
talking
having us.
movie making and Stalked. And again, make sure if you want to support indie filmmaking, indie horror filmmaking, a great group of filmmakers and an awesome cast, you can go to the indiegogo.com. It's in the description, or I'll post the link here, and you can become a associate producer, or you can claim some of the awesome perks like
Prop weapons.
prop
Yeah.
weapons, a
Scarecrow mask, get a cameo
in the movie, all kinds of cool stuff. So help these guys. I shouldn't say these guys. I'm part of the.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Help us get Stalked finished. Go to the Indiegogo today. All right, guys. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you. Really appreciate it.
I'm not shaking your hand.
Slap
I
you.
wanted to see the reach across
I was
and
like,
shake.
is this happening? Shaking your
Turn
hand.
over, I'll smack your butt.
Oh my God.
That's how we
alright.
do it. Oh. I'm not opposed. Equal opportunity butt smacks over here.
Can't help yourself.
I can't. I'm sorry. All right. Well, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that fun stuff, and email us at
DeadsvilleHorrorTalk@gmail.com. Subject mailbag.
and not your mailbag, you heathens.
Okay.
MAIL bag. All right.
Took me a second.
Joke's old. Stop.
Hey, it's new to some people. See? All right, folks. Stay spooky.
Bye, Scream Hearts.